This is Audio Oasis on KEXP. I'm your host, Eva Walker, and we are in the live room with Ayron Jones. Hey, Ayron.
Hi, Eva.
This is a 10-plus year friendship going on.
It's been a long time.
It's so cool to have you in here.
It's so cool to be here. I mean, you're the host of Audio Oasis, which is freaking cool.
Yeah, remember when we were like on the couch watching Stevie Ray Vaughan videos?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And we were debating about which Little Wing version was better.
What was better, Jimmy's or Stevie's? Yeah, we were. I remember. There's a moment. Do you remember playing? I was trying to show off for you. I think I was playing "Hey Joe" by Jimmy Hendrix.
Oh yeah.
And that walking line he does that. That's not the right way to do it.
How it goes.
She taught me how to do it.
So
right.
I just told her when I taught Ayron how to play guitar.
Yeah, she basically.
And you'll see.
Maybe who I am today.
Can we put that in writing?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Here's Ayron Jones. We will chat after a couple songs.
Let's go, boys.
I already called the freaking police, 'cause we the baddest band in town. We'll blow out all these freaking windows. Here come the boys from the Puget Sound. Can you hear me? Said you love me, babe. Knowing your words don't mean a thing. Lies say you love stormy weather, but child, you can't stand the rain. She don't know me. Up the days of old, 'cause they ain't ever coming back. And you're the one that walked away, so baby, why are you so mad? So why won't you let me be? Emily, wherever you go, just to make me feel your pain. So I make love to Mary Jane. She takes my blues away. So why won't you let me be Emily? Try to let you go, but girl, you got the best of me. Emily, girl, you got the best of me.
Ayron Jones here on Audio Oasis, KEXP. I'm your host, Eva Walker. Wow, that was amazing. And we still have two more. Ayron, can you introduce your fantastic band?
Of course. So to my right over here on the drums today, we have Asan Karimi, also known as Ace. And on the bass over here is one of the most energetic people I know, one of the happiest people I know. His name is Bob Lovelace, also known as Tyrone Robert Lovelace. Bob Lovelace is in the house today.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys, for being here. So I want to start with asking, Ayron, when was the first time you saw the guitar as something magical? As in, when was the first time you picked it up and you stuck with it?
Man, 13 years old was when I picked it up and then stuck with it, you know. I think I had always had interest in learning an instrument, so I had learned how to play violin, right, and
really
taught myself how to play piano. So I have a little bit of classical background, and learned how to play some Bach and Mozart and all that.
Yeah.
And then, but 13, I picked the guitar up because I was watching Austin City Limits one night, late at night, and Stevie Ray Vaughan comes on and just tears it up, and I was like, I want to be like that guy, So
wow.
That was when I picked it up, and then I started teaching myself to play from that point on. This is before YouTube and all that, So it was just me and these records, and I listened to old blues records and rock records and R&B and gospel and soul and of course grunge, because I'm from Seattle.
Yeah.
How could you not, So
yeah.
And that kind of molded my sound to what it is today. Yeah.
And speaking of Stevie Ray Vaughan, this is a good segue into my next question. Yeah. So, what influences do you have that we wouldn't guess? So, I know Stevie Ray Vaughan's an influence, and there's Jimi Hendrix. Who wouldn't we necessarily?
I was Janelle Monáe was probably one that people
Nice.
wouldn't guess. It was a huge influence on not just kind of my sound, but I just kind of my overall essence, image, everything as an artist was inspired by Janelle. I got a chance to tour with her for my very first tour ever. This is back when I was still kind of playing the bars and the clubs around Seattle, little small stuff here and there. I got a phone call to come and tour with this group called Deep Cotton, who was a punk band under her label, which was fronted by her producers, Chuck Lightning and Nate Wonder. So I got to go tour with her, and I got to stay at Wonderland, which was crazy. So I'm in this house with Janelle and like her whole project, you know. So it was super inspirational because like they just lived and breathed music. And when I got home, that's what I wanted to do, you know, to the point where like I got a phone call when they asked me. They said, "Are you willing to relocate down to Atlanta to come and play guitar for this group?" And I turned it down so I could spend another 10 years playing guitar and doing this, you know. So yeah, but Janelle was a huge influence on me.
Wow. And so you mentioned playing at small clubs and playing at cafes. You're a great segwayer. So a few years ago, when you seemed to play everywhere every day, including the small cafes or small bars, including places like the Lucid Lounge.
Yeah, that's right.
What did you learn about your craft while grinding so much?
Just keep doing it. I think that's just it. From grinding, I just learned to grind. That's just what it is, you know. Like that repetition, I think, really is what helped me kind of hone in my skill and my craft, and then the opportunities is what gave me the experience I needed to take it to a different level, you know. So, but those cafes and those like little small clubs and things, those are places that I mean, those are special shows to me. I'll never forget it. You mentioned Lucid. There was a day. We were playing at Lucid, and at this point, you know, Ayron Jones and The Way was brand new. It was before these guys had jumped on the project. We had this weekly gigs down at Escada Bistro down in Lower Queen Anne, which was owned by Sean Kemp and Troy Wright at the time. So we had a weekly gig there. We had a weekly gig over at the 88 Keys down in Pioneer Square. And so we had just like honed in this like full-on set, which is mostly covers and things. But I'll never forget, we were outside, or we were playing at Lucid Jazz Lounge, and we were playing Georgia on My Mind, and people on the street just stopped. So this place is packed inside, but on the street, people just lined up outside just to look in the window and see us play. So that was like a defining moment. That was just like, this is really like what, not just what I wanted to do, but it was working, you know, it was going well, you know.
And you worked really hard. I remember seeing, I don't know if I read it or watched a video of you saying this, but you'd say you would drive to like sometimes 2 hours, like maybe, or 4 hours, like to Spokane to play to like 3 people because it just meant that much to you to go out and play, which in that case, it's important to do because it's not so much how many are in the audience, but who are those 3 people that are in the audience?
That's true, man. And you know what I'm going to pass this tip on to anybody who's out there grinding right now. The people you're really playing for are definitely the audience that's going to come to see you, but the people you're playing for, the people that work at the place you're playing.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are going to spread the word, you know,
Absolutely.
and they're the ones that are going to bring you back. So, you know, so like no matter where you're at or what you're doing, even if there's 3 people in the audience, there's still people that are there, the staff that are there alongside you that are really listening to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you can impress them, like it's going to go a really long way. You know?
Absolutely. Because even though there's 3 people sitting who are paying customers, there's really 10 people in the audience.
That's right. That's right. And those cats, they really talk to you. Like people don't even realize how much they talk amongst each other about who was good and who wasn't, you know? So like, you know, you just gotta just always maintain it. And that was the mentality. It was like, I learned to never play a show like it was 3 people in the audience, right? Mm-hmm. Like always play it like you're playing in front of 10,000 people.
Absolutely.
Every single time, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, it could be 1 person, 2 people, 0 people, you know, play like it's like a 10,000 person audience at a festival, you know?
Yeah.
And because eventually that's what's going to happen for you if you keep that up, you know? You know that. You know it for sure. You know that, you know?
That's great advice. See, don't be too proud. You put on a show for 3 people.
That's right.
You shake your butt and you do everything you need to do for those 3 people.
That's right.
Jim.
I'm sure they saw.
Yeah. So the 3 of you specifically have played some amazing shows together.
Yeah.
First, how did you all connect?
Let's see here. So a few years ago, I was having a changing in the band. I had my bassist at the time. I was working with the cat, DeAndre Enrico, and I was working with Kai Vanderpit, who now lives in Nashville. And so those guys were leaving the band, and I needed some cats to come and fill in. So I called Bob right away because I'd known Bob for many years through Marmalade and doing stuff on the local scene. And Hassan had just gotten out of college over at Berkeley, and he came and auditioned for the group. And even though at the time that it didn't work out, he stuck in my mind. So as soon as the band switched out, he was the first person I called. And so yeah, we've been grinding on that for a while now. You know, like it's been a good 5 years or so, I believe, that we've been doing that. And yeah, I mean, in doing that, it's just become a whole other thing. It's its own thing at this point. You know, these guys know me so well. We had a show at the Crocodile a few weeks ago. and something happened where my guitar was handed to me and it was way out of tune, you know, way out of tune, like way to the point where I could not play the rest of the song, right? I was like, there's no way I could fake this, you know, and so I like stopped and the song, we had just switched this song around, we just like rearranged a new song or something like that, and I just gave them a look and a signal, and they knew to go back to the old arrangement of the song to give me time to like, you know, to tune my guitar, but they knew it though because we've been playing together so long, and I was like, guys, a little help, you know. So, you know, but things like that kind of chemistry is something that, you know, you can't just like find that, you know.
Absolutely.
So these guys are amazing, incredible, talented cats, and they play a lot themselves, you know. They're local cats, and they played the Seattle scene forever, you know. I just went to go see a song last night over at the Parliament Tavern with Joe Doria, you know.
Ooh, nice.
Late last night. Very late, yeah.
We're taping this at night, everyone. I don't know what he's talking about.
That's how late it went.
It was this morning.
Yeah, it was this morning, man. Y'all don't know.
So funny, man.
So I remember hearing Sir Mix-a-Lot talk about the first time he saw you when you were playing. I don't remember what the location was, but you were performing, and he's like, I was watching this guy play guitar, and he gets off the stage, and he's still playing guitar. He goes to the bar, orders a beer, gets the beer, drinks the beer, goes back on stage.
Yeah, man.
Connect with Sir Mix-a-Lot, man.
It was cool, man. That actually is what kind of changed the game for me, you know. Right after the tours and stuff with Janelle, that's kind of when that kind of started progressing. You know, like I made that decision to wanting to play music full time, and I'd entered into this thing called the Hard Rock Rising Battle of the Bands.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You know, and through that I met, you know, Whitney Manger, who's one of my closest friends, and but yeah, so in doing that, we had to do something like get a bunch of votes to move on to the next round. So we were playing like just for free everywhere we could just to get the word out, you know. And so we're at the Old Rat and the Raven down in the University District, and he walks with a mutual friend of ours, and he sees us, and he loves it, and he walks up and he says, I want to produce your first record. So, you know, so he produced that first like street underground record for me, man. So which was amazing. But he was also a huge influence on my sound and just who I was as an artist. You know, I think a lot changed from that point as well, because like, you know, his experience in the industry as a major label artist and like, you know, having gone multi-platinum and all that, you know, like that, just the knowledge he passed along to me to this day is like, you know, it's invaluable. Like you can't replace it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's set the tone. And you know, same thing goes for Barrett Martin as well. You know, like he produced my second record, and same thing. Like that cat has been in the industry such a long time that, you know, the knowledge that they pass along, you'd be stupid not to just take that, just like heat it, listen to it, absorb it, and then apply it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So do you remember what was going through your mind on stage when you played with Duff McKagan and a lot of other all-stars at the Gorge that was 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah. So we opened for Guns N' Roses.
That's a dream.
It was crazy. It was a dream. It was nuts. And then after that, we went on this crazy tour. But yeah, that was what was going through my mind? It was surreal. It's been surreal. You know, I think the last 2 years for us have just been amazing and surreal. And these moments keep popping up where you don't even have time to think about it, you know? And then you get home and like I like cry to myself, you know? That was beautiful. Oh my God, I did it. I mean, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, you know? No, but I was just humbled by, you know, and Duff has been someone, he came to our last show. He didn't even stay for the show. He just came to say hello in the beginning and to say congratulations. And so people like Duff and all Seattle cats, they have been so supportive in you know, allowing us a role and a place to spread our wings and just, you know, grow. And so, it was a surreal moment, man, to be opening for Guns N' Roses at the Gorge. It's one of those things that will always, for me, just stick out in my brain for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
You know? And it's, you know, I asked to smash the guitar, and they said no. I was like, can I smash the guitar? They're like, no. What are you doing? You're the opener, okay?
You should have just set it on fire then. Like, well, you didn't say I couldn't do
right,
this.
Yeah, and then the body, listen to me, the bodyguard was so big. Do you guys remember this dude? Do you guys remember that dude? The security guy? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God, dude.
Call Drogo. Call Drogo from Game of Thrones.
Looked at you.
He was. He comes out, listen, man, he comes out, he was already in a bad mood or something, man, and he's like looking at us, she's like, you guys are guests, here are your guest passes. Listen
Have
to
a
me.
good show.
If you go anywhere where you're not supposed to be, you will be kicked out of the show.
Go over there.
You will not play. And he was huge, like the mountain Game of Thrones looking cat, right?
It was like Everest
just
and him.
yeah. And I was like, yes, sir, no problem. Anything you guys do, we're just happy to be here. You know?
The sun disappeared when you said
Yeah, it was terrifying. It was terrifying. And I brought up my photographer friend. I don't know if you know Karen Mason Blair. I brought up my photographer friend, and he says, "Are we gonna have any problems?" And he just looks straight at Karen. Karen's like, "No, we're good. Yeah, we're good." Oh man, but yeah, man, it was.
I could have took him.
Yeah, I think you could have even. Not me, not me. But yeah, man, it was an experience, you know. And then after that, like we had some crazy stuff going on. We opened for Theory of a Dead Man on a national tour. I ended up playing Carnegie Hall after that.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, man. It's been a wild ride.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
everything.
Thank
So
you.
awesome.
Yeah.
And finally, I want to ask, you're an excellent rock musician, but I'm curious, are there any aspects or other genres of music outside of rock that you think you might be interested in exploring in the future?
I think jazz is one of those things that I would really like to dive into, just because, I mean, like, you know, it's a classic art form, but it's like Bruce Lee said, my way is no way. You know, like I feel like jazz encompasses everything at one time, and it'll only make you better. You know, and so that's something I want to dive into a little more. I mean, I have a little bit of jazz, you know, background and stuff like vocal jazz and things like that, but never really dove into it as much on guitar. You know, so that's one of those things I want to dive into. In the future here, and but you know, we'll see.
Yeah,
you know, we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
I'm an aspiring rapper, so
I think you're an amazing
I'm
rapper.
really bad at it.
Yeah, it's okay. That's what makes. I mean, apparently, like that's what makes people really dope, though. You know, what I'm trying to say. It's
I don't
like,
know. I was
when you
just talking with Travis Thompson about this, and I was like, I tried, and it's.
Did you rap
it's
for him?
pretty No. Not while these cameras are on. Oh boy. So let's with that. With that
so
said,
funny, man.
let's get into some more music. Ayron, you've got 2 more songs for us.
Yeah, this one's called "My Love Remains."
This is Audio Oasis on KEXP.
I've ever made you cry. I'm sorry if I broke your heart. With my selfish lies. And somewhere down that road we lost our way. So even though you're not long gone, there's still one thing left to say. My love remains. My love remains. My love remains. My love remains. I'm sorry if I wasn't always the perfect guy. I tried. or if I ever called you out your name at any time. My love remains. My love remains. My love remains. My love remains. I know I'm not a perfect man. I didn't mean to cause you pain. And I'm wishing I could turn back the time and forget your name. Forget your name. My love remains. My love remains. My love remains. My love remains.
I'm gonna tune it up. See, that's just what happens. I almost did it again. I was almost like, one more time, guys. One more time. Oh man. Luckily, I'm a professional.
You know what the hardest part about having Duff around you is?
Having Duff around you.
It goes like this. What's up, man? Now, how am I supposed to answer you back with just a what's up? You're like Duff. What's up, man? Like, I'm not cool enough to be like, what's up, baby?
Yes, you are.
I mean, this is Duff is so naturally cool just by being a good guy.
Yeah.
That you're just like, all you do is look at him and go, you're a good man.
All those Seattle guys are, man. All those Seattle guys
He's
are.
like, what's up? You're like, you're a good man.
He's just a nice dude too. He tells wholesome jokes too. I don't know if you know this about. He tells like dad jokes.
Really?
Yeah, they're very
I
wholesome.
love dad jokes.
Me too, because I'm a dad.
You are such a dad. I love it.
Super dad.
Oh, man.
It's a super dad.
Bob, do you stare at him like that when you go, "You're a good man"? Is that how you do it?
Actually, I do.
I love good. I was making sure.
He's
Good.
really tall to me too, you know? So then he like comes up and looks down, and I'm looking up, and he's like, "Hey," and you're like, "You're just a good man." Then his wife comes up next to him, and you're like this. "You're a gorgeous couple. You're a good man. You're a great woman. This just radiates on you, you know? Just gotta get a little bit of that on you." You're like,
Speaking of dad jokes,
"Oh no."
shall we?
This is Audio Oasis with Bob Lovelace on KEXP.
And said she'd be right back before she walked away and cried. So take me away from this lonesome place, from this lonesome place. It's all I've ever known. Am I supposed to find some peace of mind if I can't stand to be alone? So take me away from this lonesome place, from this lonesome place, from this lonesome place.
it's done. Yeah. Wow. I love those kind of endings. Wow. Ayron Jones on Audio Oasis KEXP. Thank you so much, you guys, for being on the show.
It's so good to see you.
Oh, this was long overdue.
It was way
by
overdue.
the way.
It's so good to see you. I'm so happy you took over Audio Oasis, man. It's been so awesome, man. You know.
Oh. Am I good? You just do one of these for me.
You're a good person.
You've been like, I'm gonna get there.
Congratulations to you, Eva, for everything. You know what I'm saying, man?
Thank you.
It's so awesome. You know how I feel about it.
So much. And congratulations to you all. Keep killing
Thank
it.
you.
Everyone, this is what's brewing in Seattle, okay? Like, pay attention, okay? Because we won't have this forever. They're going to be at Grammys and then too busy in LA. And this is what's happening in Seattle. Invest in your scene.
For my wife's sake, I hope so.
For all of our spouses' sake, we hope this all pays off.
It works out. We hope we get some kind of money. No, we got rent is coming, babe. We got rent's coming.
It's coming,
yeah.
This is Audio Oasis KEXP. I'm your host, Eva Walker. Thank you again, you guys.
Thank you, Eva.
And I'm still right about Lil Wing.
Oh, you're right. I agree now. Yeah, for sure.
Discover new music at listenerpoweredkexp.org.